So the announcement, one of the announcements anyway, that we've been waiting for as far as Sonic goes, and this being the movie universe, that is, one of the announcements we've been waiting for a while, because we were wondering, are they still going to do it? Are they still planning to release it? And the answer is yes, because we did get confirmation of the fact that right now they are in production currently of the Knuckles television series, so the Knuckles series on Paramount Plus, which, by the way, will be taking place continuity-wise between the ending of Sonic 2 and the beginning of Sonic 3. And we all know what that indicates. That indicates Shadow. And apparently, according to information, Shadow will be, I'm assuming towards the end that is, will be in the Knuckles series. But I'm assuming towards the end. Now, they do have a decent cast lined up. The premise of the story, though, of the series, is that Knuckles is taking, I think his name is Wade, played by Adam Pally, the junior officer or whatever he was in both Sonic 1 and 2. It's going to basically be focused around Knuckles taking Wade, Adam Polly's character, under his wing and mentoring him and training him in the ways of the warrior, in the ways of the Echidna warrior, I guess to, in my assumption, build up his confidence to be a better officer for where he and Tom, James Marsden's character, are patrolling at. So that's my assumption. That's my assumption as to why Knuckles is taking him under his wing and mentoring him, and that is to help him build up his confidence to eventually take over for Tom, James Marsden's character, in the future. To be a great cop, to be a great sheriff, if you will, by training him in the ways of the Echidna warrior. Now, like I said, according to reports, and I was watching John Campea on this, Shadow will show up. He's voiced by Zio or somebody, but he's going to show up, I think, from what I understand, towards the end of the series. However many episodes this is, Shadow is scheduled to show up around the end, I'm assuming. Because you want to save what's going to be your major threat in the third movie. You want to save any appearance of him till at least the end of the series that's interconnecting, both movies. It serves as a bridging gap point for both movies. I mean, if you think about it, Loki, season 1, the final episodes there held off on Kang the Conqueror until the end. And we all know that Kang the Conqueror is supposed to be basically the main baddie of the next few phases of the MCU, phase 4 and 5. We know that because one of the Avenger movies is scheduled to be known as the Kang Dynasty. So we know he's playing a major part, but yet he made his first appearance, not theatrically, but in the Loki series, which is one of the series that connects, if you will, kind of acts like a bridging gap for all the MCU films in between. And Kang's next appearance after that was what? Was in what? Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. That's when his last appearance. That was his first theatrical appearance, but not his first. His appearance at the end of Loki bridged the gap to that happening to give us an idea of what we're going to be in store for. And that essentially is what I feel is going to happen here with Shadow. Shadow shows up, and it basically sets up what we're in store for come Sonic 3. Now, like I said, they got a great cast in there. They got Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi's going to be in there. You got Tamika Sampson, I think that's her name, who plays James Marsden's wife in the Sonic movies. She's going to show up. You got Idris Elba, the guy that voices Knuckles. Of course, he's going to be back to voice him. You got Ellie Taylor or something like that showing up, So you got a lot of different people showing up. You got a decent sized cast. Now this Ellie Taylor, I think that's her name. I think that's her name basically. Hold on. Ellie Taylor, I was right. Kind of Ellie Taylor from Ted Lasso, who also voiced Sassy Smurf in the Smurfs. She's going to be in the series, but who she plays on screen or VA-wise is up in the air. Now, if she plays someone VA-wise, I think we all know who she might be playing. If Ellie Taylor is in the series, but she's playing a voice, she's providing a voice, not on screen, but she's providing a voice, then I can only assume that she's going to be voicing Rouge. That is my assumption. I'm probably going to be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's somebody different. But if she's not on camera, but she's being cast in this series, a series that at the end, according to reports, from what I've heard from John Campea here, is going to have Shadow showing up at towards the end to build him up for the third movie. I can only assume Ellie Taylor's character that she might be playing won't be an on-camera character. It'll be a voice. It'll be a VA character she'll be voicing, and that character I would have to assume is Rouge. I mean, think about it. Think about it. We know Tamika Sampson, James Marsden's wife in the movie, she's a given. Adam Polly's character, a given. Kid Kuda, given. He'll appear in some capacity or so. The other people, pretty much on camera appearances, given. James Marsden and Sonic and Tails, obviously, given. But mostly like towards the end, perhaps. But to me, honestly, when I see this woman's name pop up, and she's supposed to be a very funny woman, I cannot think of any other character she could play other than Rouge. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't really heard what she sounds like, but if she's funny, and get this, guys, she was cast as Sassy Smurf. Sassy Smurf. Key name word there, sassy. What character, female-wise, in the Sonic universe, is known to be sassy when it comes to Knuckles? Rouge. I don't know what Ellie's character is like on Ted Lasso, but if she's anything like what she portrays sometimes, then there's no doubt I think we got an idea of who Rouge is, who's playing Rouge. Again, could be wrong, but that's what I'm assuming. But, however, outside of that, I like this. I like the fact that one of the things we might see Knuckles wear, if not Wade, Adam Polly's character wear as well, is the little cowboy hat, treasure hunting cowboy hat that he wore in the Sonic OVA. Well, I mean, if you look at the image that's out there on Twitter, that's a given that Knuckles is going to wear it, and it's a given that I would assume Adam Polly's character is going to wear it as a callback to the OVA, because let's not forget, the directors, Jeff Fowler and all of them, have said have basically come out and said, in any way you want to interpret it, they have come out and said that we want to incorporate as much Sonic lore and references and Easter eggs as we can. And if this hat that was only seen once in the Sonic OVA is going to be brought in to be worn by Knuckles, to be worn by Adam Polly's character Wade, then that tells me right there that we're going to get more Sonic lore in the future than I think we can ever imagine. I mean, think about it this way too. Everybody wants the Freedom Fighters. What if, I'm not saying it will happen in the Knuckles series, but what if we get a hint of the Freedom Fighters in Shadow? What if we get a hint there? That would be more than suffice. More than sufficed. Now, think about it this way too. The question is going to be, how is Shadow on Earth? How is he created? Who did this and everything? Obviously, it's going to be Gerald. It's going to be Gerald Robotnik. We know that. Or Gerald Knippo, or whatever his last name. I can't pronounce it right. Robotnik's grandfather. How did he make him? And everything. How did he bring him to life? Why a hedgehog? There's going to be a lot of questions that are going to be, people are going to want to have answered, not just during the Knuckles series, but during the movie. So, again, we could get a lot more Sonic lore that we wouldn't expect. Like I said, we could get a reference to the Freedom Fighters, Sally, Bunny, and all them. And we might even get a bombshell drop on us. Because if they want to incorporate a lot of Sonic lore, no matter where it's from, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Hear me out. If it gets revealed that that Earth, where Sonic is right now, where Shadow is right now, I would not be surprised that the bombshell we get dropped on us as a revelation, which would be a real call to the Archie books, is if it gets revealed that the Earth Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are on is actually Sonic's world in the future. Yeah, think about that. It could be Sonic's world in the future, or could be Sonic's world of the past. I'm just saying. But I would not be surprised if that gets dropped on us as a revelation, either during the Knuckles series, which I don't think it would be. They would want to say something like that for the movies. I would not be surprised if that gets dropped. Either way how they drop it or announce it, I tell you right now, that's gonna blow people's mind. And a lot of longtime fans will know where, that reference, where that part got inspired from. They'll know where it's referencing, or where it's being referenced from, where it's being taken from, where it's been inspired from. They're going to know all that. So, yeah, I would not be surprised if that's a big bombshell revelation, either towards the end of the Knuckles series, or mostly in the Sonic 3 movie. But yeah, getting back to the Knuckles series, I think the premise sounds great. It sounds like it's going to be like a buddy cop, kind of like a buddy cop comedy, dramedy, if you will. Buddy cop dramedy is what I'm looking at. Here with Knuckles taking Wade under his wing. So I can definitely see it like that, being a buddy comedy, dramedy, action adventure. And when I look at the cast, like I said, I think the cast is great. I think whatever roles they are given, they're going to do great with. Tamika Sampson, of course, going to reprise her role for the movies. Adam Pally, of course, being Wade from the movies, going to reprise that. But then again, the one that really gets me, besides Kid Cudi, Roy McCain, I think, and others. And I think Zio as Shadow, whoever the name is. I think the one that really surprises me is this Ellie Taylor from Ted Lasso. Who also voiced Sassy Smurf. She's the one that really sticks out to me because I believe, I don't know why, but I believe she is going to play Rouge. I really do. I don't know why. But yeah, I look at that and I'm like, she's got to be Rouge. Because unless they have a role set up for her on camera, I think she's going to be Rouge. I really do. Because again, you can't have Shadow possibly appearing towards the end of the series, no matter how many episodes it is, to build up to the movie and build him up as the threat for said movie, if you're not going to have Rouge in there. You can't do that. Now, just because they have these cast of characters, cast of celebrities and all that, ready to star in the series, it doesn't indicate when and where they're going to appear or how they're going to appear. And to me, I think Ellie Taylor is perfect, from what I'm understanding, to be Rouge. It makes sense. Because again, you're going to have Shadow show up towards the end. You need Rouge to show up. When she shows up, I've got a feeling it might be around the same time. Might even be an episode before Shadow does. That way she interacts with Knuckles, gets to know him and all that. And, off to the races we go. But we'll see. We'll see, what they do. But I'm all for this. I mean, obviously, if they're in production right now for it, they're probably planning to release it, I would assume, not this year, if they're already in production for it right now, if they haven't been in production of it for the past few months. But if they're already in production for it now, my assumption for a release is got to be 2024. It's got to be at the beginning of 2024 or the spring of 2024. It's got to be around that time frame, one of those two. 2024 at the beginning, at the start, or it's going to be around the spring, maybe the summer of 2024 to help build into the Sonic 3 movie being released on December 20th, 2024. But I'm looking forward to it. I really am. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. What are your thoughts on the cast? What roles do you think they will play? Do you think Ellie Taylor is going to be Rouge, or do you think they got something else planned for her? What are your thoughts on Shadow possibly showing up, according to what they said on John Campia's show and other sources, towards the end? And if Rouge is being played by Ellie Taylor, do you think she'll show up around the same time, maybe before? What are your thoughts on that? And when do you think they'll also debut it, when it's all ready to go? Do you think they'll debut it at the beginning of January? Early part of next year, spring of next year, maybe summer? When do you think it'll come out? Let me know down below in the comment section, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video, and until next time, guys, I am out.